This is interesting. Neil Druckmann has said that they are not having Caitlin Dever bulk up to play Abby in The Last of Us Season 2. Quote, that doesn't play as big of a role in this version of the story. It's more about the drama. What do you mean in this version of the story? Isn't it the same story? I don't understand. We value performance over anything else. We need someone to really capture the essence of those characters. We don't value as much, do they look exactly like the characters with their eyebrows or their nose or their chin or their body? Whatever it is, it's not nowhere on the priority list, but it's below a bunch of other things that we consider. They came to casting Abby, a central new character to the events that come. That's why Caitlin Dever didn't need to hit the gym to look like the muscled version of the character in the video games. Fans will no doubt have questions about that choice. So in an attempt to get ahead of the noise, the showrunners offered their thoughts. Quote, we would have struggled to find someone as good as Caitlin to play this role. In the game, you have to play both characters, Ellie and Abby. Come on. Ellie and Abby, and we need them to play differently. We needed Ellie to feel smaller and kind of maneuver around, and Abby was meant to play more like Joel in that she's almost like a brute in the way she can physically manhandle certain things. That doesn't play as big of a role in this version of the story because there's not as much violent action moment to moment. It's more about the drama. I'm not saying there's no action here. It's just, again, different perspective or different priorities and how you approach it. I personally think that there's an amazing opportunity here to delve into someone who is perhaps physically more vulnerable than the Abby in the game, but whose spirit is stronger. And then the question is, where does her formidable nature come from and how does it manifest? That's something that will be explored now and later. Okay. Oh, I haven't seen these screenshots. This is screenshots of the party, the like traveling party at the opening of the game. That's Spencer Lord as Owen. Interesting. Oh, they look way younger than I was expecting them to look. Interesting. I mean, so the meme, in case you're not tuned in, like the meme has been for years that Neil Druckmann has like a thing for really buff women. It's been a thing since he took over Uncharted 4. Nadine was the most like clear-cut example of this, where like there's entire sequences where Nadine is just beating the ever-living crap out of like Nathan Drake, like just kicking his butt, and he always made sure to have her in like shirts and outfits that would reveal her really buff arms and stuff, and it was always weird, and like it's kind of half joking, like Neil wants a muscle mommy, like we'd always joke about it, but it like kept happening and kept happening, and it was really weird because also like Nathan Drake is basically like a certified serial killer, and the idea that like he all of a sudden can't even like hold a candle to fighting Nadine is just a little weird. Then there's a sequence later in the game where Sam and Nathan are both like struggling to fight her 2v1, and it's like I'm not sure what we're doing at this point. So when we saw Abby, and Abby is like shredded, not even shredded, like Abby is maybe the definition of a muscle mommy, like all muscle, buffer than most of the guys I know. And I mean, you just look at the screen cap that they have. Very, very buff. Technically an achievable physique. You might need some trainable and some gorilla blood injected directly into you, but technically achievable. Maybe not in a post-apocalypse, but maybe if you've got amazing genetics. But it was like such a very obvious and key part of Abby. Even Abby's like room is next to the gym in the stadium where they live, and they mention, you know, that she does a lot of workouts in there and stuff. So like it was a pretty key part of her character that she starts small and buffs up when she starts trying to find her dad's killer. So it's just surprising to see that not be a priority, because it seemed like a big, forgive the pun, priority in the game. And I understand like, oh, they play differently. So Ellie is like scrawnier and her gameplay reflects that. And Abby is more of a brute, so that needs to be reflected. But I don't know. It's just, maybe it's more that they couldn't find like an actress capable of leading a show like this or a season of a show like this, like Caitlin Dever, that was also like a well-known bodybuilder. I have a couple family members who are bodybuilders, like IFBB pros. You know, they actually have their cards, their pro cards, and train people for a living. Like, and they're very, very fit and put together. Like they don't even, like, she doesn't look like this. This is like crazy. Okay. So finding that type of person in the real world might be more difficult, and that might be why they did it that way. But anyway. Okay, Neil. Whatever, Neil. Okay.